閃亮登場，全新 Chevrolet Cruze。歐洲記者評為2010年最佳汽車，係印度嘅年度最佳汽車，又係世界巡迴錦標賽英國、意大利、德國同巴西各站嘅冠軍。世界驗證咗呢部輕型汽車嘅不平凡故事。全新 Chevrolet Cruze 同級車系中最慳油，10個標準安全氣袋，加拿大最佳保養服務，超越一般駕駛。Cruze。
欢迎回来，活在5点。那么今天的嘉宾访谈环节呢，我们请来的是 Golf Clearance Warehouse 的 Joel Jones 先生，来为我们介绍一些呢最基本的初学者，像我这样的初学者要用的高尔夫用具。Welcome to our show, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about clubs first.
Okay.
I want to know, as a beginner like me, like, what is there a difference between men's golf clubs and women's golf clubs?
There sure is, and I brought one club here just to show you guys. The difference between men's and women's basically is a women's club is shorter, and it's also a lot lighter. This being because women normally aren't as physically broad as men are, so we give them a lighter club so they can get the club head moving, to get the ball further. We use graphite shafts for ladies, so graphite is a much lighter metal. This way, like I said, again, they can get the club head moving faster to get the ball further.
Okay.
We also use a little bit of a smaller club head, okay, because again, they don't need all of that extra stuff going on, okay? The club is also shorter. Most women aren't as tall as most men, so we do put the club down a bit for them because their hands do fall closer to the ground. So those are the main differences between the clubs. Men will definitely use a stronger shaft, a steel shaft. That way, the club doesn't bend as much, so they can, again, get longer distance with their shots.
Okay, so there are three parts for, three parts of this club.
Golf club.
Like this is the
grip, and then there's the
shaft, and that's the head.
And then there's the club head.
That's the head. That's a small head, because I saw some of the clubs, they have like this big.
Correct. Those are called woods or drivers. Okay.
Yeah.
They're called
What's
woods.
the difference between this?
They're for a much longer shot. They're off the tee, so when we start each hole, we start off the tee, and we have a big long shot that we have to hit. So we use a much bigger club called a driver or a wood, and that aids us in getting the ball way down the fairway.
Okay. And then we use the smaller one.
Then the irons are more for playability around the greens, getting the ball to exactly where we want it, as opposed to a big long shot. So more finesse, more touch.
Okay. Then how do I know if this one fits me? Like if this golf club fits me? Like when you showed me, like you have to stand up and.
Well, with most people, it's all in how far their hands come down to the sides of their body, okay? And this is a test that we do in all of our golf stores, or most golf stores will do for you. So if we put our hands down, generally 90% of the people in the world, their hands fall at around the same height. So they're all about a standard golf club. That's how we have standard golf clubs.
Oh,
But some people, if they're a little bit taller or a little bit shorter, some women or some very tall people, their hands fall in different areas. And then we get into a custom club.
Oh.
And we do lengthening and shortening at our golf clubs for free. So.
OK， 就是刚才呢，这个Jones 先生他讲了，就是说这个高尔夫球棒啊，它其实是分为3个不同的部分。你看它的那个Could you hold that for me? OK， 大家看啊，哎，这怎么弄？你看这一个部分呢，我们叫做这是它的那个头 head， 然后这个部分是它的 shafts，right？ 然后这个地方是它的，就是我们叫把手叫 grip。所以它是分为不同的地方。然后呢，我们所谓的量它这个 shaft 就是量这个部分它的长度。然后你怎么知道这个高尔夫球棒是不是适合你呢？就是说呢，刚才Jones先生也讲了，就是你要站起来，然后把你的手自然下垂，然后它这个棒它的高度呢，应该和你的手的高度是差不多的。那么这样的球棒呢，就差不多是适合这个初学者。但是呢，也更要注意一点，就是说，如果你想要一个，就是你想购买一个专门为自己量身定做的高尔夫球棒呢，还是要到店里面去找专门的这个专业人士为您量身定做。Okay, let's talk about children.
Good.
What age do you think children should start learning golf?
The earlier the better. The earlier we can get any kid involved in golf, the better they will be in the long run. Because when kids are very young, they're very athletic, even if they're not. We can teach them to get the club to the ball at a very good contact, making very good contact early. And that'll translate all the way through as they get older. Then when they're older and, even if they take some time off the game, they'll still be able to come back and they'll have that muscle memory. So kind of like their body will be used to it from a young age. So it makes it a lot easier the earlier that we get them involved.
Okay. Do you have like this kind of courses for children?
There's lots of par 3 or executive courses that we would send children to. And of course, you can come into any one of our locations and we'll point you in the closest direction to any of those. But yeah, there's shorter courses are always better for children. But by all means, any dad or mom could take their kid out with them onto a golf course.
Okay. I want to ask a little bit silly question. How do you attract children to your courses? Like golf. Basically, people just walk in the course and hit balls just as you just said. What's the fun part of the golf game?
The fun part is hitting the golf ball. When you get to hit that golf ball and you get to see it go really far, everybody loves that. It's a great feeling, and it's a really sense of accomplishment for somebody to hit a nice golf shot. And we always tell people, if you go to the driving range and you buy a bucket of golf balls and you take all those 100 golf shots, you hit 3 of those nice, and you're going to come back and play again because you really do enjoy it. It's a very good sense of accomplishment. It's very nice.
You have to try once to really get into it, right?
Anybody could try of any athletic ability. We can get it. Even if you've never done any sport, it is very individualized sport. So you don't have to worry about hindering your teammates. It's fine. Anybody can come out and try and have a great time and play.
Okay. So let's talk about the bags.
Okay.
The thing you carry your golf clubs. I saw when people playing golf games, they use different kinds of clubs. How do you arrange your clubs in your bag?
Well, that's a good question. There's lots of different ways you can arrange them. There's one main way that a lot of people think is the right way, and that is the higher clubs, so the longest clubs towards the back and then the shorter ones towards the front. It just makes it easier to pull the clubs out of the bag. But it's mostly a preference thing, and if you've got a special system that you like where your 3-iron's close to your 8-iron, then all the best to you.
Okay, so how many clubs? Is there a limit for one bag?
There is a limit, and any player is only allowed to carry 14 golf clubs during any round of golf.
14, OK。所以刚才呢，郑先生跟我们介绍了，说这个首先是这个孩子如果您想让您的小孩呢学习打高尔夫球呢，就是钟先生说，越早开始是越好的，因为呢，就是如果小孩开始的早的话呢，他比较容易记住这个动作，而且动作呢也比较容易练得很规范。然后呢，就是说，而且他们会给您建议不同的课程，就是说把您的小孩可以送去学这个高尔夫球，也是非常非常有趣的。那么刚才我又问郑先生说，就是你觉得这个打高尔夫球的乐趣在哪儿？因为小孩子嘛总是喜欢动，但是你怎么能让小孩就是说喜欢上这个运动？郑先生说呢，最重要的是你要亲自去试一次，你要去打这个球打一次，然后看着这个球，你可以用很少的杆数把它打进洞，那种感受是非常奇妙的。那么我本人呢是没有经历过了，所以我想要找一天去试一次，看看这个到底是一个什么样的经历啊。而且刚才我们又讲到这个说就是说装高尔夫球棒的包，那么一个包里可以装几根杆，然后呢，郑先生说这个重量呢其实不重要，因为装高尔夫球杆的包呢，它是负重，它可以是负重很重的东西。那么但是最多呢只能放14根。然后有些人是喜欢把高的放在后面矮的放在前面呀。然后呢，但是其实这还是根据每个人不同的喜好来安排他们这些高尔夫球棒的。那么好了，今天呢就是作为初学者我也是略学了一些高尔夫球的知识。我们还是要感谢 Mr. Jones 光临我们的节目。Thank you very much for coming our show.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. 那么好了，我们下面呢还是先进一段广告，广告之后呢是由刘佳恩为您带来的粤语新闻。